Acid Queen was rehearsing, still at the Leotard and Rehearsal Pianist stage.
If your child ain't all he should be, this girl will put him right. I'll show you what he could be now. Just give me one night. I'm the gypsy, the acid queen. You pay before you start. I'm the gypsy. I'm guaranteed to break his little heart. Leave the room, close the door, leave us for a while. Your boy won't be a boy no more. Young, but not a child. I'm the gypsy, the acid queen. You pay before you start. I'm the gypsy. I'm guaranteed to break his little heart. So gather your wits and hold on fast. Your mind must learn to roam, just as the gypsy queen must do. You're gonna hit the road. My work's begun. Now look at him. He's never been more alive. His head shakes, his fingers clutch. Oh, watch his body ride. I'm the gypsy, the acid queen. You pay before you start. I'm the gypsy. I'm guaranteed to break his little heart.
Peter, I'm amazed with your other projects that you've got going, which is Kids Riot and Quadrophenia and other things, that you've had any time to get involved in this production at all.
Well, bringing Tommy to the West End stage is something that has really only involved me and my time, and that of the other guys of the band, in an executive producer sense, really. I went to see the Hornchurch production, which is really a repertory theatre, Queen's Theatre in Hornchurch, as against Queen's Theatre in the West End. And I liked it so much that I went back to the guys in the band and I said, will you go and see it? And if you do like it as much as I do, would you back it going into the West End while it's still alive? You know, it was something that needed a snap decision. And that's really what happened.
Obviously, you must have been very impressed by the original production. And
I was impressed by its vitality. I was impressed by the fact that it suited Tommy. It wasn't a pretentious staging. In fact, in many ways, it was like a late 60s type staging. It had the feel of Hair and Godspell. And I like that because Tommy came from that time. You know, it didn't have pretensions of Hal Prince or any of that stuff. I mean, it was just basically a straight... But the main thing about it was the vitality and what can never be suppressed, I don't think, through the music of Tommy, is the magic in it. You know, it came across very, very well.
Yeah.
And there's some great people in the cast which have been carried through.
Which we should now introduce, which is Alan Love, who you are playing Tommy.
That's right, yeah.
Obviously, you saw the film.
Yeah, 3 times.
And everybody's already saying that you bear this sort of huge resemblance to Roger Daltrey.
Yeah.
I would have thought that could have been a terrible disadvantage.
Well, I think it is to a point, you know, because you've got to try and form your own identity, you know, and it's a little difficult. And I thought Roger was sensational in the film, you know. But, you know, I do it my way, whether it's similar to Roger's way of doing it, you know, if it is, then it's only coincidental, it's not meant to be that way, I think.
Yeah, because, I mean, you have a background of really what Peter's just been talking about, in that you actually replaced David Essex in Godspell.
That's right, yeah.
And I imagine this is a very different experience there.
I think with Tommy, it's a concentration thing that probably takes the most time to really get into, you know, because you've got to keep that constant thing of deaf, dumb and blind boy right way through the whole piece, you know. And it's very difficult to be totally separate from everything that's going on, you know. And, you know, sounds and movement you mustn't make any reaction to, you know. If you fall down, you can't sort of really scream out, which sometimes I feel like doing.
Deaf, dumb and blind and crippled too, yeah.
Terrific. We'll change the title, yeah.
What is it going to look like, Alan? Because having had Ken Russell using all his wild and crazy imagination, you've obviously got tremendous limitations in any stage production. So how do you think that's been overcome?
I think basically, like, when we originally did it at Hornchurch, you know, we only had the albums to go on, and the book, which was quite
the film of the album.
Right, yeah, and so it goes on, yeah.
Re-released by the New Seekers.
And it was, yeah. But it was really a case of staging the whole thing, and I think, you know, we had sort of directors which, like, really thought about it quite a lot. And the actors got together, and we basically put it together as a unit, you know, rather than sort of somebody say, OK, you've got to stand there, this is the thought. We had to totally try and envisage what Pete initially thought when he wrote it, you know.
I think just to chuck in something, I think what a lot of people forget, because of Tommy's most recent explosions into showbiz being through film or through books or through whatever, through like the LSO or whatever, that Tommy was always a great bit of theatre for The Who. It was what really took The Who's potential as a stage act to its full potential. You know, when we used to do a large chunk of Tommy on the stage, we'd really learnt a hell of a lot about theatre doing that. And of course it really gave Roger that figurehead role, which in the old mod band lineup that we originally had, you know, the singer was just the singer and the guitar player was just the guitar player. We learnt about working against one another in a theatrical sense to get tension and, you know, the whole focus of one person as against another. It taught us a lot about that. It's always been good theatre, Tommy.
Obviously, this plus Quadrophenia plus Kids Are Right is going to regenerate a lot more interest in The Who over the next few months. And you've been working with Kenny Jones, I know, recently. Are you sort of adamant one way or the other about The Who getting back together and performing live? Well,
we are recording at the moment. We've recorded some tracks for Quadrophenia which have gone well. We're not clear about the future outside of recording, but I don't think performing is out of the question. I just think that touring is out of the question. This is only from my point of view. Just don't want to tour. I don't mind going on the stage and playing, but...
Yeah, why don't you want to tour?
I don't want to tour. I don't want to drag me body around the world, you know.
Yeah.
Jumbo jets and small hotels and crazy unattached ladies. Brandy, VD. Had enough, you know.
Peter, I've heard somebody tell me that sometimes during rehearsals when you've been about, that you've actually called Alan Roger by mistake, which either is very Freudian or it means he's certainly absorbed the role. Having sort of seen him perform it, how do you think he's coped with well, not being Roger Daltrey?
Well, when I first saw the production at Hornchurch, when Alan first appeared on the stage, I was absolutely staggered. But then after a while, I started to realise that you're your own man. He's got his own face and his own charm, and he's, in actual fact, I think, very, very different performer and singer and different mover to Roger. I think it's just the hair that's similar. It's the ballad, yeah. And I think really, I think in a way that perhaps if Roger was to perform